Padres postgame show starts now on the Padres Radio Network.
Machado is hammered, an absolute no-doubter. Second deck in left, and a little history. Number 163 in a Padre uniform for Manny Machado. Ties Nate Colbert for the most in franchise history, and a rocket to left to make this a 5-1 game, his second of the night.
A historic night for Manny Machado and a Padres win as they beat the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 5-1 on this Friday night here in downtown San Diego. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Manny hitting a home run early, a home run late in the game, number 162 on the first one in a Padres uniform, and number 163 on the second home run in the eighth inning. And with that 163rd home run of his Padres career, Manny Machado has tied Nate Colbert for the most home runs in the history of the franchise for an individual player. So a big congratulations to Manny Machado. He was a huge part in a 5-1 series opening win against the Giants here tonight. Lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll have all the radio highlights for you. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, and much, much more to come. A lot to discuss from this game beyond what Manny did. Michael King, really, really good tonight. 6 innings, 1 run given up. Bullpen tonight also really good between Brian Hoeing, Adrian Morhone, and Jeremiah Estrada. Padres got a few runs early. They held on to a 3-0 lead, then a 4-0 lead, then a 4-1 lead, and then, of course, Manny hitting the late home run in the eighth inning to make it 5-1. I also caught up with Manny on the field right after the game. You'll hear that interview when we return, along with everything else on a very good Friday night here at Petco Park. Again, the final score, Padres 5, Giants 1. Our post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the lofts here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Padres win it 5-1 against the San Francisco Giants on this Friday evening as they take the opener of this three-game series. A lot to do on our postgame coverage. We'll hear from Manny Machado, who made some history tonight, coming up in a little while. We'll also hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll go through the standings at the end of the night and much, much more to come. Just a very nice, clean win for the Padres here tonight in a number of respects. Let's break it all down as we recap this game from start to finish.
What moments had the biggest impact on today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game recap on the Padres Radio Network.
Michael King, the starting pitcher tonight for the Padres, began the night with a perfect first inning. In the bottom half, Giants rookie Mason Black took the mound. Luis Arraez hit a leadoff single. Fernando Tatis Jr. singled. Jurickson Profar then stepped in, and this happened.
1-0 pitch. Profar swings, sends it in the air to right center. High but not deep. Yastrzemski over into the gap. The right fielder will make the catch. Arraez tagging, throws going to third. Fernando goes to second. Throw there goes into right field. Arraez is going to come in to score, and you know what? Fernando is too. Ball ends up in the right field corner, and on a fly ball to right, the Padres get two here in the first. What was it we were saying about the Keystone Cops?
They're back at it again here in the first.
Yeah, just a really, really bad error by Giants shortstop Tyler Fitzgerald on a fly ball to right field that should have just allowed the Padres to advance the runners to second and third. 2 runs end up scoring. The Padres, just like that, had a 2-0 lead. Moments later, it was Manny Machado.
And next thing you know, this pitch hit in the air to deep left field. Ramos is back at the wall. Forget it. Home run, Manny Machado. What a start against Mason Black and the Giants. 24th of the year for Manny. He now stands alone, second place all time on the franchise home run list. And the Padres have a 3-0 lead.
So a nice moment for Manny Machado. That was home run number 24 on the year for Manny. And like Jesse said, home run number 162 in his Padres career. The Padres had a 3-0 lead after the first inning. Michael King, meanwhile, was rolling early on. He allowed just one base runner through 3 innings. He ran into trouble in the top of the 4th inning. The Giants loaded the bases on a couple of singles and a walk, but King got a ground out to end the frame. He worked around a 1-out single in the 5th. 5 scoreless innings for Michael King to begin the day. Padres still led 3-0. Going to the bottom half of the 5th inning, Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a 2-out single. Jurickson Profar followed with another. Tatis went to third base. That was it for Giants starter Mason Black. The Giants went to reliever Sean Jelly. Manny Machado dug in.
Ahead of Machado, though, 0-2. Runners lead at the corners. Profar runs, pitch swung on, hit in the air to right field. Yastrzemski charging in, on the move, can't get there. It falls in front of him, and a base hit. Tatis comes in to score, and Manny Machado adds on. It's 4-0.
So the second RBI of the evening for Manny, and he was just getting started. Padres led 4-0 going to the 6th inning. Giants had a little something going in the 6th. The Michael Conforto led off.
3-2 again. Pitch 8. Conforto hits it in the air to very deep right field. Fernando back. He's going to watch, and it's going to go. Home run, Michael Conforto. 16th of the year, and the Giants on the board. A solo shot to begin the 6th inning.
So it was a 4-1 game. Matt Chapman then singled, but King retired the next 3 in a row to end the inning and his outing. King allowed just 1 run in 6 strong innings tonight. Brian Hoeing pitched a 1-2-3 7th inning. Hoeing got the first out of the 8th inning. Then Adrian Morahone came in. He got the final out of the 8th. Padres still had that 4-1 lead heading to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Manny Machado led off for San Diego.
Pitch to Machado is hammered. An absolute no-doubter. Second deck in left, and a little history. Number 163 in a Padre uniform for Manny Machado. Ties Nate Colbert for the most in franchise history, and a rocket to left to make this a 5-1 game, his second of the night.
What a moment for Manny Machado, his second home run of the evening. Like Jesse said, number 25 on the year and number 163 in a Padres uniform. The next home run that Manny hits, I'm sure he'll hit at least one more in the next 19 games. You sure hope so. Well, that will make him the franchise leader in home runs as a San Diego Padre. So a congratulations to Manny, who again ties Nate Colbert with 163 career home runs as a Padre. Padres led 5-1, heading to the ninth inning. Jeremiah Estrada came on, and he made it look as easy as 1-2-3.
Padres, as always, showing no signs of yesterday today. Estrada set and ready. 1-2, the pitch. Bailey swings and misses. Strike 3, and the ball game is over. Jeremiah Estrada comes out, works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And along with Morejon and Hoeing, they back up Michael King here tonight. Huge game for Manny Machado, a pair of home runs, and the Padres take Game 1 over the Giants by a final of 5-1.
Padres improved to 81-62 with the win. Giants dropped to 69-73. Final totals here tonight for the Padres: 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. For the Giants, 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error. Winning pitcher here tonight, Michael King, who improves to 12-8, and it was Mason Black who took the loss for San Francisco. He drops to 0-3. By the way, one note from this game that I did not get to in the recap: Jackson Merrill fouled the ball off his left leg in the 6th inning. He would stay in the game, finish the at-bat. In fact, he would come out, play defense in center field in the top of the 7th inning. But in the top of the 8th inning, Tyler Wade replaced him in center field. The news on Merrill is good. The Padres calling it a left patella contusion. X-rays were negative for Jackson Merrill. That came down shortly before the game came to an end. So, again, a left patella contusion for Merrill, and X-rays were negative. So you can breathe a little sigh of relief there. We'll see what the bruise is like, what the contusion is like for Merrill. If he has to miss any time, we'll see if he plays tomorrow. Worry about that coming up a little bit later and into tomorrow. But again, the most important part there, X-rays were negative after Merrill clearly was in a lot of pain after he fouled the ball off what looked like that patella, the top of his left knee, in that 6th inning. Again, he stayed in, finished the at-bat, came back out, played defense in the 7th, but then came out of the game. So positive news there on Jackson Merrill. You were a little worried about that when he came out of the game, but again, X-rays were negative. So good piece of news there. Manny Machado, what a night. 2 home runs. Number 24, number 25 on the season, number 162 and 163 as a San Diego Padre, tying the franchise all-time record for home runs in a career as a Padre. I caught up with Manny on the field right after the game. Manny, 2 home runs tonight, and in the process, you tied the franchise's all-time home run record. How would you describe this accomplishment?
I mean, it's great. You're part of history, and, to do it in front of the home crowd, it just makes it that much special. So, it's a special day, and it's always an honor to be a part of the history. A starting pitcher for the Giants that this team had never seen before. How was the offense able to get to him early? Just stick to what our plan, what our strengths are. I think we've done it all year. Whenever we face guys that we don't know, we just go out there and we stick to our plans, what our strength, and we don't make them work. I think we threw 30, 40 pitches that first inning. We made them work. Obviously, they had that error. But we made them work. We stuck to our strength as an offense, and it paid off. A tough ending last night. How important was it to come out, grab an early lead, and really roll from there tonight? For sure. I think the biggest part was Michael going out there and giving us that quality start. Going out there, giving us 6, left it all out there. Knowing that we had a couple guys down back there, and that's what this team is all made up. We rise to the occasion. When we need to pick up someone, we do it as a team, and that's why we're so special. Manny, 163 career home runs as a Padre. Congratulations on the achievement, and thanks so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. That was Manny Machado right after the game. Again, a big congratulations to Manny. When he hits number 164, he will be the all-time franchise leader in home runs. And the good news, he did it
here with 2 home runs here tonight, and also the Padres picking up a very nice 5-1 win against the San Francisco Giants. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later. Also hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up as well. But I do want to just give you this piece of information from the out-of-town scoreboard. The Diamondbacks lost tonight, so the Padres not only will maintain their spot in the top wild card position, the number 1 wild card position, but the Padres now have extended their lead to a game and a half over Arizona. Atlanta won tonight, the Mets won tonight. Again, full out-of-town scoreboard coming up later, but the Diamondbacks did lose to the Astros earlier tonight, so the Padres got a good piece of news there as well. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, plus more to come. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, get into our daily awards. We'll get to your phone calls coming up later as well. Again, the final here tonight, Padres 5, Giants 1. Post-game coverage continues after this.
Network.
Bring it.
Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, Padres 5 and the Giants 1, as the Padres improved to 81-62. Giants dropped to 69-73 on the season. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as the Padres begin this 3-game set with a very nice win, very well-pitched win. Michael King, 6 innings, 1 run given up. Bullpen got it done as well. Hoeing, Morejon, Estrada combining for 3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Padres didn't have to use Jason Adam, didn't have to use Tanner Scott, didn't have to use Robert Suarez in this game, so that was good news on that front. They got a win without using those guys. Those guys really needed a day off today. You imagine that coming into the game, and they all got it, so that's a good piece of news as well. obviously one of the headlines also, Manny Machado, 2 home runs in this ball game, number 162 and 163 as a San Diego Padre, tying the franchise all-time record, now alongside Nate Colbert. So again, a congratulations to Manny on the accomplishment. Before we hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, you heard me tell you a little bit about the out-of-town scoreboard before we went to break. Diamondbacks lost, Braves won, the Mets won, so the Diamondbacks losing means the Padres will now be a game and a half up on Arizona in the top wild card spot, so that's a very positive result. The other score I didn't tell you about, the Guardians beat the Dodgers 3-1 in L.A. tonight, so the Padres picked up a full game on the L.A. Dodgers as well. So all in all, this was a pretty good night for the Padres. Dodgers lose, Diamondbacks lose, and they win. So on the whole, with what Manny did, with what Michael King did, quite frankly, once you saw Jackson Merrill foul a ball off his leg, the fact that that is a left patella contusion and x-rays were negative, that's good news as well. So all in all, a lot of positive news here tonight for the Padres. Let's head downstairs at Petco Park and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
Mike, I wonder if that's maybe how you would have liked to have drawn it up, getting a lead, a quality start, and then being able to kind of ride the guys you did at the end, the bullpen.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Michael was tremendous. 6 quality innings. Threw the ball real well. You know, was able to make big pitches with a little bit of traffic in the 6th to get out of it. The changeup was really good tonight. Controlled counts, got ahead. He was fantastic, and then the offense set us up for success the rest of the way. The 3 in the first. Manny, big game obviously. Tied a franchise record with Mr. Colbert, so that's pretty impressive. Congratulations to Manny. And then we were able to go, and Hoeing was really sharp tonight. Was able to get his 7th and get that lead out in the 8th, and Morijon came in, nailed his guys down, and Estrada brought it home. It was a well-played baseball game again.
I know we got the report the x-rays were negative. Do you have any sort of insight on Jackson and what might be going forward?
No, I think you know about as much as I do. I talked to him. We're obviously relieved that it's negative, and we'll take it day by day, see what it feels like tomorrow for him. But clearly a relief that it's negative.
I imagine that first inning is an example of aggressive base running. That's why one of the reasons you do it is
That's
that
right.
Things that can happen like that. Can you just talk about that play from not only Arise deciding, but Toddy?
Yeah, I thought it was aggressive with intelligence, the combinations, what we're seeking and we get. But I love the aggression. But it was just a good baseball play. Louis, sees it, takes off, and Toddy did a nice job because that's a tough one because you got to read the throw. So he was in a good position to go, read it, and then turn it on again to be able to force a play at second. So just another good baseball play.
What's it say about this bullpen that you do have maybe your 3 highest leverage arms down tonight, and you still have the guys you have, the depth that you have, and able to do what they did tonight?
Yeah, it's impressive. We have said it that really good bullpens have guys that bring it home, which we do. Guys that, when we're down, can hold it there and not have to use the same guys. And then the guys that typically bring it home, that can be down when you get into stretches where you've got a lot of close games. And they're down, you have other guys that can step up and get it done. Sound of a really good team.
How would you kind of put into context what Manny has accomplished here, tying Nate Colbert, and what that means?
That's a big deal. You're talking about a franchise record, man. Those things don't, this is not a startup franchise. This is franchise, been here a long time, and anytime you set a franchise record, you've done something. So that's a big accomplishment for Manny, and we're proud of him and excited for him.
Can you put into context what Manny's done this year? Like when Manny got hot, you guys have been pretty darn good since then. And moments like that was a big run to get that home run for
That's
the
right.
night.
Both the last 2 were really big runs, right? I mean, we get the lead and Conforto hits the homer, and so now you're, but boom, the base hit, the good approach. You can see the approach within that at bat too, and he got rewarded with the ball falling in, and then got a pitch you can handle, and put, that was a big boy homer. The thing about Manny that it's also part of our team. Manny was grinding early on. I don't think there's any secret to that. But never made any excuses. Was honest about how he felt. Took the DH early on. Came back to be able to play, and I think we all could tell he was playing with not quite feeling right yet, coming off of surgery, and but good enough to compete, and compete he did, and so he set a great example for the club to be able to see what it looks like to enter the bell. He's a really good example of that. The other thing is it proved that a lot of other guys can carry the mail early on, with a lot of different contributions that I feel like gave our club a lot of confidence that, he didn't have to be the guy. Now, that being said, clearly we're a really good team when Manny and our guys are going. But, he's a special talent, and it's a team that plays well together and has a lot of different moving parts that can contribute.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 5-1 win for the Padres against the San Francisco Giants on this Friday night. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. You heard a lot there about Manny Machado, and certainly well-deserved for Manny, well-deserved praise. The Padres are now 24-0 this season when Manny Machado has multiple RBIs in a game. Think about that, 24-0. When he has 2 or more RBIs in a game. Manny had 3 hits, 3 RBIs in this game, including the 2 home runs. He also had a stolen base in this game, so a big night for Manny. But again, like Mike Shildt alluded to there, Manny was only part of the story here tonight. Michael King was really good. This was a game from the pitching side of things where the Padres needed a couple of things to happen, and we talked about it pregame. They needed Michael King to limit walks. Walks had been a little bit of an issue for him the last 3 starts. He did that here tonight, walked only 1. And they needed him just to put together a nice, deep outing. And he did that. 6 innings, 1 run given up, quality start. And the second part tonight was they sort of had to stay away from Adam, from Scott, from Suarez. All 3 of those guys pitched 4 out of the last 5 days, and they were able to do that here tonight. And like you heard in the post-game press conference there, you have a guy like Hoeing come in the 7th inning. It's only a 3-run lead. You have a guy like Morahone come in the 8th inning. It's only a 3-run lead. Those are real quality arms the Padres have. It is one of the real great parts about this bullpen. Not only the dominance, the effectiveness that guys like Adam, Scott, Suarez have. I know Suarez had a hiccup last night, but he's been terrific all year. Not only their dominance, but the fact that you have real depth, real quality arms in this bullpen, and on a night where you wanted to stay away from those 3, you still had Hoeing, who's been tremendous since the trade. You still had Morahone, who's an electric arm, and for the most part this year has been really good. Same thing with Jeremiah Estrada. It's a real luxury to have, and it's a big part of the reason why this bullpen has been so good. And quite frankly, we said this note in the pregame show, last night was the first time since June 2nd that the Padres had a starting pitcher leave with a lead, and they ended up losing the game. A big part of that is because the bullpen has been so good. And look, the ability to go to guys like Hoeing, Morahone, and Estrada, it's a real luxury on a night like tonight. So really all the way around, this was a really nice win. What Manny did, Padres taking advantage of that big miscue by Fitzgerald in the first inning to grab an early 2-0 lead. King, the bullpen, all of it here tonight, all leads up to a very nice 5-1 win. Let's tell you about tonight's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher was able to come in and slam the door shut? It's time for the relief pitcher of the game in support of the Jacobs & Cushman San Diego Food Bank, providing food assistance to local children, families, and seniors in need. To get help or give help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
2-1 pitch. Yastrzemski in the air to left field. Profar to his left, fighting the lights. Makes the catch as he falls down in left field. A 1-2-3 seventh for Brian Hoeing.
Brian Hoeing, our relief pitcher of the game. He was great tonight. Had that 1-2-3 7th inning. Came back out for the 8th inning. Struck out the only batter he faced in that 8th inning. So, in total for Hoeing, inning and a third scoreless, 2 strikeouts, no hits, no walks, a grand total of 14 pitches to get 4 outs. He was great again here tonight. And you look at the numbers for Hoeing, a 1.04 ERA so far in a Padre uniform. 12 appearances, 17 innings and a third. He's given up only 10 hits. He's allowed just 2 earned runs, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks. Hoeing's been great. It's been great since the trade. He's been a real asset in that bullpen for the Padres. So Brian Hoeing once again here tonight, our relief pitcher of the game. 4 up, 4 down between the 7th and the 8th on a grand total of 14 pitches. When we come back on our post-game coverage, we'll get into more of our daily awards, full out-of-town scoreboard, plus we'll take your phone calls when we come back. 833-288-0973, the phone number. Again, 833-288-0973. You may be checking out our post-game coverage for the first time this season, the first time ever, because it was a national TV game here tonight, so no local post-game TV show. This was the only place to hear any post-game reaction from Manny locally, from Mike Shildt locally here on the radio side of things. So we appreciate you joining us. We'll take your phone calls when we return. Final score, Padres 5, Giants 1 in this series opener on a Friday night here in downtown San Diego. Our post-game show continues after this. Our postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park as we break this one down. Padres win it 5-1 against the San Francisco Giants. Manny Machado, 2 home runs here tonight as he ties the franchise all-time record for home runs. Home runs number 162 and 163 in a Padres uniform. So a big congratulations to Manny Machado for accomplishing that feat. And Michael King, 6 innings, 1 run given up. He was great here tonight. The bullpen as well. Brian Hoeing, Adrian Morajón, Jeremiah Estrada combining for 3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. So all in all, a very, very nice win. Again, a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up in just a little bit. And we will tell you where the Padres are standings-wise at the end of tonight. I do want to get to your phone calls, 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. We've got a number of people waiting on hold. Let's begin things here tonight. We go to Carson calling in. Carson, you're on the Padres postgame show. How are you?
Hey, Sammy, I'm doing good tonight. Big fan of yours. I've been watching you since the TikTok days. So very happy to
Thank
see
you very much.
Yeah, I think it was an awesome win by the Friars today. I was really, really enthused by the response by especially the top of the lineup, too. Obviously, Manny had a great game, but everyone in the top 4 got a hit. Manny, obviously, 3 for 4 with the 2 homers, but it was a really big response to see, and they weren't able to pick up Suarez last night, and I think, honestly, too, Shildt learned a little bit about the bullpen management and everything there, but I was very enthused tonight by the response by the Padres. It was very different from the Padres we've seen, obviously, last year, and it continues to be this trend that we see that they're ready to come back. They're ready to, tomorrow's history today is a gift. We get to win and play today. So it was an awesome game today. Michael King stepped up with 6 innings. Really, really enthused by this win and the makings of a very, very good Padres team, especially tonight.
All right, Carson, very good call. And look, I agree with you on all points. Good response tonight. Last night was a tough ending. It really, really was. I mean, you could argue it was, I don't know, you want to call it the worst loss of the season? Maybe. I mean, it is September, and you had a 3-0 lead. It's certainly something that we just haven't seen from Robert Suarez all year. Struggling in that kind of capacity, in that kind of spot. So it was a tough loss. No way around it yesterday. And it was good to see today them come out, get some runs early. They capitalized on the early error by Fitzgerald. That was a bad play by Fitzgerald. I mean, that was a ball off the bat of Profar in the first inning that should have just got the runners to second and third. And instead, the Padres end up taking a 2-0 lead on that play, and then Manny hits the home run, and boom, just like that, Padres have a 3-0 lead, and thanks to Michael King, they really rolled from there. Again, I thought some keys today were get out to a big lead. They got out to a 3-0 lead really early. Michael King going deep, limiting the walks today. He did both those things, staying away from Adam Scott Suarez. So this win today, after what happened last night, considering the state of the bullpen, it checked a lot of boxes for what the Padres needed tonight. Let's go to Ryan calling in. Ryan, you're on the Padres postgame show. Go ahead.
Yo, what's up, Sammy? Incredible night. It's just been incredible to witness what the Padres have been able to do since the All-Star break. Like, it's incredible. And it's like, there was a lot of positive things about tonight. Just obviously Manny, but, contributions from everybody in the lineup. Brian Hoeing, like, he's probably not going to get enough recognition for what he did tonight. He hasn't been able to pitch in a while. Like, what he was able to do out of the bullpen in his limited opportunities shows you how much this Padres team is different from last year's Padres team.
Yeah, look, bullpen-wise, Ryan, and good call. Bullpen-wise, it's a very different team, right? I mean, just, again, the depth they have in the pen, you make a good point on Hoeing. Look, Brian Hoeing's been really good. I'll tell you what, when he came in the 7th inning, now the Padres didn't elect to go this way with it. That's fine. I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe there's a chance that they let him ride this thing out. And he's certainly somebody who can give you 3 innings to finish a game. They didn't end up doing that. They ended up taking him out after he got the first out of the 8th inning. But he was terrific. 4 up, 4 down, 14 pitches. I would assume he can pitch tomorrow. And he's been really good. He was not the headliner of that trade with Miami. Tanner Scott was the headliner. Hoeing was a guy who you felt like, just based on the trade, sort of came along with Scott, and Hoeing has been a really, really important piece of this bullpen. He's been really, really good. He was great tonight. Morahone gets the 2 outs in the 8th inning. In fact, I'm looking at it here, and it didn't dawn on me till right now, so that's on me. And the bullpen went 9 up, 9 down. Hoeing faced 4 batters, retired all 4. Morahone faced 2, retired both. And Estrada faced 3 and had a 1-2-3 9th inning. The bullpen was perfect tonight on, again, a night where they didn't have Adam, Scott, or Suarez. Or at the very least, they wanted to stay away from those guys. So really nice win. And he felt like after last night, like the first caller, Carson, alluded to, a much-needed win. And Ryan, you talk about the team as a whole. Look, it's September 6th. They're sitting at 81-62 with a really great opportunity to get above 90 wins and maybe well above if they play really well. After tonight, they've got a 1.5 lead now for the number 1 wild card spot. There are 19 games to go. We've got a long way to go. There's a lot of baseball to play. The Padres got to keep their foot on the gas pedal. All those things are true, while also saying that they have played so well here in the second half that they have put themselves in this position. They have put themselves in the driver's seat for at least that number 1 wild card spot with 19 games to go. Got a long way to go. They got to keep going. But to their credit, this team has performed really, really well in so many phases. And what more can you say about Manny Machado? We'll talk a little bit more about Manny coming up a little bit later. But another great game. He's been great. Been great for a while here. 3 hits, the 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs total. So great night for the Padres all the way around. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what's going on tonight around the major leagues.
Let's take a trip around the Bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
We take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard here tonight. We've got 1 game going on right now. A's and the Tigers tied at 6 in Oakland in the 12th inning. Wow, you rarely see a game go even 12 anymore, but that's where they are in Oakland right now. A's and the Tigers tied at 6. Everything else has gone final today. Yankees beat the Cubs 3-0 in Chicago. Rockies beat the Brewers 3-2 in Milwaukee earlier today. Orioles beat the Rays 2-0 in Baltimore. Red Sox beat the White Sox 3-1 at Fenway Park. Mets beat the Reds 6-4 in New York, the final in Sin. Mark Vientos hit 2 home runs in that game, including a walk-off 2-run home run to win it for New York. Phillies beat up on the Marlins 16-2 in Miami. Braves 3, Blue Jays 1 in Atlanta. Angels beat the Rangers 5-1 in Arlington. Logan O'Hoppe, a 3-run home run in that game for the Angels. Astros beat the Diamondbacks 8-0 in Houston. Yordan Alvarez, 2 home runs in that game for the Astros. Royals beat the Twins 5-0 in Kansas City. Mariners beat the Cardinals 6-1 in St. Louis. Guardians beat the Dodgers 3-1 in LA. Andres Jimenez, a 2-run home run in that game for Cleveland, and we did have 1 rainout today. Nationals and the Pirates in Pittsburgh. They will play a doubleheader tomorrow, and that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday night across the major leagues. So, with all those results, everything that we're concerned about has gone final. Where do these teams stand here at the end of tonight? Well, the Padres win. The Diamondbacks lose, the Braves win, the Mets win. So the Padres hold the top wild card spot. They're a 1.5 games up on Arizona, who sits in the number 2 wild card spot. So that's a good piece of news tonight. The Padres pick up a full game on the Diamondbacks, now a 1.5 games ahead of the D-backs for that top wild card spot and to host a wild card series. Diamondbacks are a 1.5 games ahead of Atlanta. Atlanta and the Mets, I should say, game and a half ahead of Atlanta and New York, because the Braves and the Mets both are sitting at 77 and 64 in that third and final wild card spot. So again, Braves-Mets tied for the third and final spot. Arizona, game and a half ahead of those teams, sitting in the number 2 spot. And then the Padres are 3 games up on Atlanta and New York, game and a half up on Arizona. So good night for the Padres. And in the division, Dodgers lost to the Guardians, like we said. So the Padres are now sitting in second place in the NL West, 4 games behind the Dodgers for first place in the National League West. The division is a long way from over. Again, 19 games remaining in the Padres season, a 4-game deficit in the standings. So keep an eye on that. Long way from over, but good night for the Padres, with the Diamondbacks losing and the Dodgers losing as well. Very, very positive night, like we've said a handful of times. Let's go back to the phones, 833-288-0973. We go to Jamie calling in. Jamie, you're on the Padres postgame show. How are you?
Hey, Sammy, you're doing good. I just wanted to say that you've been doing a great job on the postgame, pre- and postgame. I would listen to you every night, and it's awesome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask one question for you tonight. So as we're looking at the playoff standings and, kind of getting towards the end of the season, would you rather have the Dodgers in a 5-game series in the NLDS or a 7-game series in the NLCS?
I'll take NLCS, because that means you got to the NLCS, and that means you have a chance to go to the World Series. So I'll take NLCS. For that reason, Jamie. Interesting question. Appreciate the phone call. I'll take NLCS because, NLDS, you're not guaranteed, right, to get past that. So NLCS, you're farther in the postseason. So I'll take NLCS, right? I think everybody would take that. That's a guarantee to be one step away, one series away from getting to the World Series. So, look, 5-game series, 7-game series, each has their own challenges, but certainly, I'd take a guarantee of getting to the NLCS over the NLDS. Interesting question. Let's go to Steven calling in. Hi, Steven.
Hi, Sammy. How are you? I'm here with my
Doing
son,
great.
Max. We just wanted to comment and say you do an amazing job every night, and we love watching the Padres, and, we just want to wish good things for him, and thank you so much.
All right, Steven, appreciate it very much. What'd you think of the game tonight?
It was awesome to have Machado tie. I'm going to tomorrow's game, so just really excited about tomorrow.
All right. Very, very nice. Well, hope you have a great time. I bet it's going to be another sold-out crowd tomorrow, Steven and Max, and appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. Let's go to, thank you, Steven. Let's go to Nick calling in. Hi, Nick. You're on the Padres postgame show. Go ahead.
Hey, Sammy. Thanks for taking my call. First off, with all due respect to the 2 callers ago, let's just focus on getting in the playoffs first.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you.
Let's not put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
And I'm in my car on the way home, so I apologize if you talked about this already. But I heard the X-rays were negative on Merrill, which is good.
Yeah.
It seems like we've been through this before, where we get good news and then it doesn't turn out so good a couple days later. So I've been racking my brain, and I can't think of when Merrill had a day off. So you got to figure he's at least not going to be in the lineup tomorrow. Do you think Toddy slides over to center and Peralta goes in right? Because I know Wade went in, but who would start for Merrill if he's not in there tomorrow? Who do you think?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Nick, with this current roster. Who would play center field if he doesn't play tomorrow? Now, look, I have no idea. Again, X-rays were negative. Padres called it a left patella contusion. Obviously, it was bothering Jackson enough afterwards, and he looked to be in a lot of pain. He stayed in, took that at-bat play defense, but it was clearly, and appreciate the call, Nick, he was clearly in a lot of pain after he hit the ball. It looked like it went off his knee and maybe a little bit above his knee. I'm not sure where exactly the patella is, but looked around where the patella is. Back to your question. By the way, he did have a day off. I think it was, I'd have to look it up. I think it was early in the 18-game and 18-day stretch. He did get a day off somewhere in there. It's an interesting question, though, what they would do if, let's say, he's not in the lineup tomorrow and he needs at the very least a day or two, it's an interesting question. I do wonder if Fernando would slide to center potentially. And then you'd put, let's say, Peralta in right. It could be Tyler Wade. Again, I don't know. Tatis has his own, just coming off from the IL situation with a right femoral stress reaction, and we know he's not necessarily fully healed from it. It's a really interesting question what they would do. It could just be Tyler Wade out there. Could be somebody sliding over. But it's a pretty interesting question. I'd be very interested to see what they would do if, let's say, he's not in the lineup tomorrow. So we shall see what they elect to do there. But it's an interesting question. If he does need a day or two, we'll see. We'll see how he's feeling tomorrow and kind of take it from there. But again, the good news here tonight is that the X-rays were negative, and hopefully it's nothing more than a contusion, a bruise. Let's go to Brian calling in. Hi, Brian. You're on the Padres postgame show. What's up?
Hey, Sam Merla. Good to talk to you again. Just two quick things. So I have 3 young daughters who are Tatis fanatics. So Tatis is the spirit of this team, but Machado is the heart. So he drives everything, and this game just proved it. And it's just great to see the entire lineup, obviously without Ha-Seong Kim, gelling at the perfect time.
Yeah, look, they've gelled really, really well. And you're right, Brian. Look, you hit on it and appreciate the phone call. I said the stat earlier. This team is 24-0 this season when Manny has multiple RBIs. And people always say, not just me, as Manny goes, the Padres go. And it really is kind of proven in that number. I mean, when he produces runs, they have not lost the game this year. Again, they're 24-0 when he has 2 or more RBIs this season. It's a stat that says a lot. It tells you when he starts driving in runs at a very high rate, they win. And he drove in 3 tonight. He hits 2 home runs. He's incredibly important to this team. He's incredibly, incredibly important. I think we all know that. I think it's pretty clear at this point that, look, he was dealing with that elbow at the start of the year. He was, and he wasn't fully healthy. And clearly he's got to a much better place as this season has rolled along, and he's looked so much better. I mean, he's been really good. I'll get to some of the numbers here in a second with Manny. Just to give you kind of a wide scope of how good he's been for a while here. But, man, you're spot on, Brian. He's incredibly important to this team. He always is, and he's been great as of late. He really has been, and he was awesome once again here tonight. Let's keep it rolling. We go to Bob calling in. Hi, Bob. You're on the Padres postgame show with Sam Levitt. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing? Doing well?
Doing well.
Hey, quick one for you. I've been watching Merrill play. The kid's outstanding. And I was looking at his stats recently. Right now he's batting about 290, I think, after tonight's game. He's got 22 home runs, and he's got 82 ribbies, and he's played in 138 games. Mm-hmm. You look at that, and I'm thinking he's got a good shot for Rookie of the Year, because you look at Orlando Cepeda in his rookie year, he batted 312, 25 home runs, 96 RBIs, and he played in 148 games. And if this kid can make it to the playoffs and make a little bit of a name for himself again, he's going to get a lot of recognition. So I think he's got a good shot at Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Bob, I think you're spot on. I think you called it, and appreciate the phone call. Bob, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think he's the favorite right now for Rookie of the Year. He'd be my pick. I think he'd be a lot of people's picks. Now, is there a guarantee of that? He's got tough competition. He's got very tough competition. Paul Skeens, Jackson Chourio in Milwaukee. I mean, you could put Shota Imanaga in there for the Cubs as well. Look, I feel like nationally, based on what people have said, based on the odds, I do feel like for a while it was Paul Skeens' award to lose. And I do feel like in the last month or so, with not only the raw numbers, like you pointed out, Bob, but with the quality of the moments he's had, the swings, the hits, the dramatic moments, what he's meant to this team, the fact that he's playing on a team that hopefully will make the postseason, the fact when you factor in the defensive part of it, center field, all of it, all the factors that we've talked about for months on end now, to me, he has stolen it from Skeens right now. We've got a ways to go. We've still got 19 games left in the Padres season, and we'll see if Jackson has to miss any after the injury today. But right now, to me, he's the favorite. To me, he stole it. He stole it from Skeens. So, Bob, you're spot on. He'd be my pick. I think he'd be a lot of people's pick. I hope he wins it. He deserves it. He has been so incredibly good and important for this team. So, Bob, you are spot on. I believe Jackson Merrill should be Rookie of the Year, and hopefully it comes to fruition. Let's go to Mario calling in from National City. Hi, Mario. You're on the Padres postgame show.
Hey, Sam. Good evening. I just leaving the ballpark. Good game. I enjoyed it. I got a couple of questions on your perspective as far as we're going to carry a couple of catchers into the playoffs. And I kind of have a feeling that Campusano's an odd man out. I mean, I keep the catchers that they just picked up from Colorado, and of course Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And my other question is, when does Kim come back?
Yeah, I'll address both of them, Mario, and appreciate the call. Let's start with Kim. Kim took some live at-bats today. We know he's been doing some throwing. There's no real timetable we've been given yet or information on if he'll go out for a rehab assignment yet or not. So he's progressing. The news has been positive. He's doing things. He's throwing. He's taking swings. He's taking live at-bats. That's all great. We do not have a timetable yet or know if he's going to go out for a rehab assignment. But he's progressing. We do know that. So that's the update on Kim. Look, it's going to be an interesting scenario. It is when you talk about, and again, I plead with the callers. You can call me about whatever, and the fans, hey, there's a ways to go here. It's September 6th as we start talking about playoff rosters. So I preface what I'm about to say with that. You got to get there first. But it presents an interesting scenario potentially. Look, Higgy is going to be on there. I would think there's a chance that Diaz is your second catcher. He's here for a reason. I mean, they signed him and they've given him a start yesterday. Obviously Campusano has had some struggles. So we'll see what happens. I don't know the answer to that question yet, but you'd imagine it's a possibility. Again, I think, deal with it when you get there. And look, the good news for now with the three catchers, just to talk about that for a second, I really like it right now for a couple of reasons. Number one, you can, give Higgy a spell, get all three in there with some starts, Campusano, Diaz, and Higashioka, as you'd like. But also it gives you some flexibility. Like we actually saw it in Wednesday's game, right? Because they had the ability to pinch hit with Solano for Higashioka. And keep in mind, Campusano was the starter. Higgy had come in after Peralta pinch hit, and then they could pinch hit for Higgy with Solano. The only reason they could go to Solano and take Higgy out of the game is because of Diaz on the team now, and they're carrying three catchers. So just in the immediate for the rest of the regular season, I really like it because it gives them some flexibility on the bench and a little bit of more aggressiveness with pinch hitters. And look, they've got guys in Peralta and Solano who you're going to want to pinch hit at times when the situation is right and the situation arises. So it's it gives them some flexibility. I like them carrying three catchers right now. I really do. All right, let's get to one more, then we'll do our player of the game. Let's go to Cameron calling in from San Diego. Hi, Cameron.
Hi. I was just, listening to everything. I love the flexibility that we have as a team here in the last year. But with having Tyler Wade and Kim, I know it's a question way out in the dark, but with a right-handed and a left-handed bat, what do we What do we think about that?
Cameron, get a little bit more specific for me. What do you mean exactly with Kim
Like
Wade?
we're saying like a right-handed pitcher on the mound or a left-handed pitcher on the mound. When it, because I know we are thinking about playoffs, but but let's say we're there. What do we, in that instance?
Yeah, Cameron, I appreciate the phone call. You've been breaking up a little bit, but I think I get the gist of what you're asking. I don't think there's much to discuss. I mean, look, Ha-Sung, when he comes back, is going to be your starting shortstop, and Ha-Sung's going to get starts against righties and lefties. I don't think it really has much to do with Wade. I mean, Ha-Sung, he's going to start against everybody when he comes back. So, look, I'll go back to your point on flexibility. Yeah, it's one of the real good things about this team, and you can talk about it in a couple of respects. Look, I just talked about the flexibility they have now carrying 3 catchers, some of the pinch hit flexibility they have, and they showed that on Wednesday night, even though they, on Wednesday nights, even though they won that game 6-5 and 10. That was the Tatis walk-off. It kind of, showed you what they could do as far as having flexibility pinch hit-wise. But also in the bullpen, tonight's a great example. Again, a night where you were trying to stay away from Adam and Suarez and Scott, and you were able to do it and still throw out 3 real quality arms in Hoeing, Morahone, and Estrada. So that's a good word for it, flexibility. Got a lot of flexibility right now in the bullpen and with what they can do off the bench. And as you hopefully eye the postseason, that's a good place to be. It really, really is. So flexibility is a big key this time of year, as far as your bullpen, as far as your bench, and it does feel like the Padres have quite a bit of that. All right, big night for Manny Machado. Let's tell you about tonight's player of the game.
Which player had the biggest impact on today's game? Let's find out who is today's player of the game. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Catch every game at Patties and Pints. Plus, enjoy $4 beer every Thursday. Visit valleyviewcasino.com today.
Pitch to Machado is hammered. An absolute no-doubter. Second deck in left and a little history. Number 163 in a Padre uniform for Manny Machado. Ties Nate Colbert for the most in franchise history, and a rocket to left to make this a 5-1 game, his second of the night.
Manny Machado, our player of the game. No doubt about it here tonight. The 2 home runs, the second of which tied the Padres franchise record with Nate Colbert at 163 home runs in the brown and gold. 1 of 3 hits Manny had tonight, the 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, a stolen base as well. So a big night for Manny. Congratulations to him and Manny Machado, our player of the game here tonight. When we come back, we'll hear our play of the game. If you want to squeeze another phone call in or two, you can at 833-288-0973. The phone number as always. We'll wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow. We'll replay my interview with Manny one more time in case you missed it. Final score, Padres 5 and the Giants 1. More postgame after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Padres win it 5-1 against the San Francisco Giants. Hope you're having a great Friday night. Maybe you're on the way home from the ball game tonight. Another sold-out crowd here in the building. This place was rocking tonight from early on. We'll hear our play of the game coming up in just a little bit. We'll wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow's middle game of this 3-game series. Let's squeeze in one more phone call before we wrap things up on the phones here tonight. Let's go to Thomas calling in from Carlsbad. Hi, Thomas. You're on the Padres postgame show. Oh, sorry, not Thomas. We'll go with this. If you're on hold right now, you're on the air. If you called in, you are on the air right now. I do not know your name, but go ahead.
Hey, my name's Dave from Temecula.
There we go. Hey,
doing?
Dave. Dave, we went with you. We didn't have time to screen you, so
no
go
dead air
ahead.
right now, brother.
Go ahead.
Hey, awesome win. Love the Padres. Love Jackson. Hope he's okay, and can't wait to continue to see this thing rolling. Let's go, Pods.
All right, Dave. Nice call to wrap up the night. Yeah, in case you're just joining us, in case you are just tuning in or maybe didn't hear again, Padres relaying the information. It was a left patella contusion for Merrill. X-rays were negative after he fouled the ball off his left leg in the 6th inning. Would finish the at-bat. He ended up coming back out, playing defense for the top of the 7th inning, then ultimately came out of the game. I'm just scrolling through here some of our friends that are Padres beat reporters that are in the clubhouse. I'm just scrolling through here to see if there's any update on Merrill. If he spoke post-game, I'm not sure that he did. Just give me a second as I scroll through here. I don't see anything. I'm not sure if he spoke downstairs. So anyway, but again, good news, positive news there. The X-rays were negative. I certainly take it that way. Doesn't mean it's not a bad contusion. Again, I have no idea. I haven't talked to Jackson about it. Could be a bad bruise. Looked pretty painful. Again, like we just touched on a little bit earlier, does raise an interesting question if he does have to miss even just tomorrow, let's say. It does raise a bit of an interesting question what the Padres would do to fill that void in center field. As far as outfielders on the roster, I mean, you look at it, it's Merrill, Peralta, Profar, and Tatis. Tyler Wade obviously went out there tonight. I suppose they could put Tyler Wade out there. I guess there's a possibility of putting Fernando out there. Normally I'd say that's probably the likely scenario, but I just wonder a little bit with that. With Fernando fresh off the IL and not, as we know, fully healed with the stress reaction, I wonder if they would do that. So again, I don't want to get too into it because who knows? Jackson's 21. He's a tough kid. He might play tomorrow. Okay, so I have no idea. But it's just an interesting thing to think about if Merrill's not in the lineup tomorrow. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's see what the lineup is when we walk in the clubhouse tomorrow. So we'll leave it there here tonight. Well, early on in this game, there was a really critical moment. Luis Arraez, Fernando Tatis Jr. hit back-to-back singles to begin the ball game. They were on first and second, nobody out, a scoreless game, Jerks and Profar at the plate, and then it was our play of the game.
What was the crucial play that determined who came out on top? This is today's Play of the Game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Auto pitch, Profar swings, sends it in the air to right center, high but not deep. Yastrzemski over into the gap. The right fielder will make the catch. Arraez tagging, throws going to third. Fernando goes to second. Throw there goes into right field. Arraez is going to come in to score, and you know what? Fernando is too. Ball ends up in the right field corner, and on a fly ball to right, the Padres get two here in the first. What was it we were saying about the Keystone Cups?
They're back at it again here in the first.
Huge play in this game. Padres taking a 2-0 lead. Just a critical throwing error by Tyler Fitzgerald at shortstop. Really was. I mean, that was a play where Padres should have had runners on second and third, one out. Scoreless game still, and Fitzgerald tried to get the out at second base, cut off the throw, threw it into right field. The problem was Mike Shildt was all the way out in right center because he had to go make the catch. And once it got by Luciano and went into right field, there was nobody within, I'm not kidding, there was nobody within 50 yards, 60 yards, 70 yards. I'm not kidding. I mean, Yastrzemski was all the way in right center. So once it rolled into right field, I mean, quite honestly, Fernando Tatis Jr. could have walked home. I mean, that's how much time he had with how long that ball was going to roll into right field. And it went like all the way into the corner. So it was a bad play by Fitzgerald. It really was. I mean, you look at this game from the Giants' point of view, let's say he doesn't throw that or he makes a better throw and they get out of that inning scoreless. Maybe this ends up being a different game. But you had that error that leads directly to 2 runs. And then Machado, the home run right after, 3-0, boom. Just like that, Padres hang on for a 5-1 lead. You mix that in with Michael King, 6 innings, 1 run. The bullpen, 3 scoreless innings. They were perfect, 9 up, 9 down here tonight. And you've got a 5-1 Padres win. All right, as always, if you missed any portion of our post-game show, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back and watch any portion of our post-game show on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow. First pitch tomorrow, a little bit earlier at 5:40 p.m. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show begins at 4:40. Pitching matchup tomorrow, we've got a dandy. Right-hander Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres. Right-hander Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants. Again, first pitch tomorrow, 5:40, and our pregame coverage begins at 4:40. Taking a look at the final totals here tonight for the Padres. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left on 5. For the Giants, 1 run, 6 hits, 1 very, very critical error, and 6 left on. Michael King, the winning pitcher tonight, he's now 12-8. Losing pitcher was Mason Black. He drops to 0-3. Time of game, 2 hours and 33 minutes, and the crowd at Petco Park, the 48th sellout of 2024, 42,595. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 5:40. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Tanucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the San Diego Padres 5 and the San Francisco Giants 1. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.